What's up, y'all? It's Jammin' Sam, and today we are starting the second part to What If Donkey Kong 64 was composed by Dave or Evelyn instead of Grant, and therefore sounded more like Donkey Kong Country. And so we'll be starting first with the K.Rool's map theme, since we started for the first part with Donkey Kong's Island theme. And let's see. Welcome, King Nick. First, yes, first indeed. Okay, so I've written out a little like a chord progression and melody outline for this, and so to sketch this, I'm gonna use I'll use the Donkey Kong Country 2 strings patch, and this is from the Korg Poly 6 synthesizer VST. Dave got the actual strings from the Korg Wave Station, but the Korg Wave Station featured a patch which was called PWM strings that matches very closely this strings from the from this string preset. So we're definitely going to use that here. So let's see. So I might use this to sketch it out because I have written a melody, basically adapted a melody and chords to use for this purpose. And it basically takes from uses what's it called? Welcome to Crocodile Isle, the map theme from Donkey Kong Country 2 as a jumping point, which this piece is in A, so I'm gonna do this in A. And so basically, where I'm coming from with this is that in most of K.Rool's themes in Donkey Kong Country 2, Dave uses 4 chords. He uses D minor, G minor, and then E major, and A major. And he does this in you can hear this first in the title theme where he does where let me go lower with this. So here's D minor, G minor, back to D minor, G minor again, D minor again, and then E, A. And he does this with the chord progression in Crook's March, where he does and then he goes immediately to E major. Now he goes and then to G minor, to A major. So it's most of the K.Rool's themes are used basically those chords. Welcome, Jamie Martin. Welcome, Fran Bunny. OMG, he streams. Love that you're doing these restorations so much. Thanks. Welcome. I'm glad you're attending. Okay, so basically, I've written something like that where I don't stick completely in those chords, but I use those as like sort of inspiration. Those are basically K.Rool's chords in the second game, and then I think at time in the final battle you have the something like that. So we're gonna use basically something like that. But I'm not gonna stick completely in those chords, but I'll start with them. And the map theme starts off in A minor. It goes from A minor to E major. And it basically uses it as dominant, where it does Something like that. So what I wanted to do, what I did was basically adapt the map theme to that. So I came up with a solo that's and then where did I go after that? Oh yeah. No. And then something like that. We'll figure that out. But we can get to writing that. So I want to start with the strings which are heard in the beginning of the map theme, which are a contact patch. We go to Donkey Kong Country 2. And let's see, put this in alphabetical order. Marcato strings. I can't remember which one is the actual. I think one of them is a sound font of sorts. Or one of them is called spiccato strings. No. Which one is this one? I think this one's the one we need. No, I think that's the castle strings. The other ones must be a sound font, probably. Oh, they're the same, actually. I have to remedy that. Oh well, we'll use those. But to me, the contact patch sounds better. Yeah, because these ones are like somehow mono sounding. Yeah, they sound very, I think they're in mono actually. So we could use that. Basically, we can keep that beat of like dun, 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 dun. So we can do that by just doing block chords. Actually, we can just Control B on this, duplicate it. So, and we can slow this down. I kind of like the way the map theme started, where it was block strings. And so what I had essentially done here was I wanted to do A minor to D minor, and then we can duplicate that. Or I can probably just do a whole bar of this. Duplicate that, and then from there, I went to E major. And the easiest way to do that is basically going down here and then down to B and taking this down to G sharp. And then I can duplicate that. Dun, 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 dun. And then I wanted to go basically to F diminished. And then I think at that point I just oh yeah, I think that was a half bar at this point. And then I wanted to go to G minor. And then I think that one's also a half bar that I had envisioned, and then it was then it's C. Yeah. Okay, then I remember going back to G minor. Or going to G minor. That's the first time I'll be in G minor. And then back to D minor, which we already have. And then what else did I remember? Oh yeah, I also need A major. Then I think the rest is just a sort of. Oh, I also wanted. I think I remember. I remember going to F at one point. And then I think I also went to C. Let's see. Either way, we just have one. I just know what chords I want to eventually go to, and then we'll sequence them. So, what I have for the melody then? I guess I would use. I want to use the French horn, but maybe not the same. Maybe I could use the same French horn. Yeah, I'll use that same French horn for now, and then maybe change it later because I don't know. It really just sounds like like a pirate horn, like some kind of pirate thing. But I don't think we want that for this one. This one needs something a little more serious. Um, maybe the bass strings like in the castle. That could be fun. So if we do that. Something like that would do to start out. That's all the way down here. So if we call these string chords, or string harmony, we find first empty and call this melody. Then we can do so we do these two notes are quicker. Nice. Welcome, Random Schumer. Hey there, hero. You deserve a Collective Consciousness Award. Nice. Thank you. Welcome, Hugo. Huge Cat Plays. How did a monkey games get such epic music? It makes no sense. Exactly. Well, some people care. I guess people care about. Some people care about what they're doing, even if it's a game about monkeys. I certainly care about making this music. Okay, so and then so then I wanted to go out to A. At this point we're in D minor. At this point we're in the chord of D minor. Because we're going we're going from A minor to D minor. So we'll make sure we outline. This is outlining D minor right here, right? This one's outlining A minor. And then we have D minor right here with this A, F, and D. So we have. Let's try to slow that down a bit. 85 will do. Okay, so let's duplicate that and make a variation where we can go. Where to next? At this point, I think I want to be in E major. I want it to be in E major, so do dum da E dominant actually. So that's why we can use the D in E. Let's see. And then at this point, we're doing a half thing where we're in F diminished. So I wanted to do that so that I could use that F here because the F sounded really nice to go to. And then we start on G. At this point, we're in G minor. And then we do a cadence resolving to C minor. Nice. I like that. Okay, and then we put in the string harmony. Let's see. Okay, and then the second part to this, I wanted it to be, let's see. I wanted to go into G minor because I think the reason these chords work is because we're going, they're all like, there are a lot of circle of fifths movements, right? So you start in A, and the D is a fifth away, so we go to D next. And then you go from D, you kind of break that and go to E. And then E is, with E you make a movement where in E, from E major to F major, it's sort of a rise. It leads very well into that because you're just moving the E up to F. And so it's a quick way to build, it's an easy way to build tension and be very rewarding. And then we go into basically a 4-5-1 with the F diminished and G minor, then resolving to C. And then in the next section, I want to make another circle of fifths movement from C minor to G minor. So that's kind of why Dave used a lot of like circle of fifths movements and thirds in particular. He liked to make those movements with chords. So I'm gonna control B this melody, and then we're gonna move this down essentially to G minor. I think this is right. And then at this point, we do this same run again. This one stays the same, but the chords I think are different. Actually, this one is not. This one's the same, but it's the lead line because we're going from G and making another circle of fifths movement. Actually, I think it's not explicitly a circle of fifths movement, but from G to D is like down a fourth. And then I think I had, yeah, I wanted to go from here to A major because A major is another circle of fifths movement. But the way I wanted to go about that was no, that's not right. Oh yeah, that's because the A is over here. At least I think it is. No, that's the G minor, but the A is the next one. Actually, since we're landing on A here, no, wait, we're not. We're actually landing on D, but in the same rule applies. Let's see. Oh, I know where I wanted to go from here. Ah, I know what I had wanted to go from here to like quickly from D to A. Because this melody Yeah, I want our A from A to D. So I wanted to, yeah, go here, from here to here. Yeah, that's much better. So that's leading from G and rising to A and to D. So it's G, A, it's G minor, A major, and then D minor. Okay, so then, and then I wanted to do that thing in DK Isle where he does da 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 da, na da da, da da. Da da da. And the cool thing is, like, the reason I wanted to do this because this is a reference to the castle theme where he goes, in the beginning, in the end of the intro to the castle theme, he does G minor, D minor, E major. So he goes da, 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 with that chromatic walk down. So I wanted to kind of do that. And so to do that, let's see. And then I think I wanted to go back, kind of straddle between. No, I wanted to go back to G. And then, so briefly from G and then to F. Yep. Da, da. Okay, and then we need, so G minor. With only one thing. But actually, I think I want it to slow down, just like in the song, because it's like da da da. So if we do like that, we can just drag this out. Actually, it would probably be better if I just stretched it. Yeah, there we go. And then Control Q to quantize. But at this point, it should switch to legato strings because that's what he does in the castle theme. So at this point, we kind of have a cohesive chord progression. I did it like this because it's easier to edit and when you can follow the thing, but I could merge these selected clips, and what I want to do now is make sure that the voicing is cohesive, meaning that you get all these, like, for example, you want them to lead somewhere. For example, what can I use? Let me Control Q to make sure all these stay in the same place. So this, I think, would go up, right? I kind of want these to go down, actually, if I can do such a thing. Because, let's see. And we can remove the old harmony strings. Yeah, I kind of like this leading. Duh. So then here, I want to use that strings patch to create legato strings. So the first thing that we need is the chromatic walk down. Da, da, da. And so these chords are going to be G minor. So let's build an inverted G minor. Have it go down to D minor. And then finally resolve to E major. There you go, exactly like in the castle theme. What program is this, by the way? This is Fruity Loop Studio. Well, let's see. Welcome, Alexander Taylor. Dude, I love your channel. Thanks for rebuilding all the tracks you've done so far. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it. Question: did you buy a Roland JV 1080? I did not. I don't think there's really any need to buy it because all the you could pretty much find all the discs online, and the discs have pretty much everything. Like the disc images from the Roland Sample CD series. Welcome, Blends Fire. I did not buy a Roland JV. Nice. This needs to be a little darker though. It's a bit bright. So let's find the cutoff filter and turn that down so it gets darker. Cool. I like that harmonic movement. So, now I don't know if I want to keep the same pacing as Welcome to Crocodile Isle by doing the da 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 da. Of course, I would have to make it faster. I would have to make everything faster to do that. But I kind of like it where it's slow and like and marching like this because it more drives the militaristic feel, whereas the other one was like a more piratey theme. Let me see. I kind of want to. I don't know if I can lead these voicings better. Let's see. No, it would have to go up. Yeah. And all that's well and fine, but it kind of sounds more like the castle theme, which I was going to save for Creepy Castle anyway. So I might want to actually introduce a French horn, but I want to use the French horns for either from the title screen or the one from Donkey Kong 64. Let's try the ones from the title screen for Donkey Kong Country. For the melody line, anyway. So let's cut this. And then we're going to have to put it up an octave. And let's get some release on that. So So there was, I thought there was no, there wasn't another layer to this. Because I think this is close to the original tuning in the game he does. Yeah, but why it sounds a little bit muffled, I don't know. I guess because you need to bring it up. Hold on. Let's name this for the legato strings. And let's see. I want to saturate that. And it's also mono, so I want to put a chorus on that. Turn it halfway. And then I want to put an exciter on that. And raise the highs. And so for the intro, I want like 1 bar of just straight A minor chords. Let's move this over. Actually, we can just do that in the playlist. That'd probably be easier. Make a slice there and then add this in. Let's call this just regular string harmony now. And I kind of want to make a, I kind of want to walk these strings here down into and lead into this sort of thing. What about this? No, that's too much. Let's just have the 1 note. Nice. But it could be fat. It could be like the notes could be doubled up to match that map theme feel, I feel like. Let's see. You're doing part 2 over here. Yes, I am. Welcome, Taylor Lynch. So let's see what happens, how it feels if we dun 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 dun. And then we can also kind of change the pacing. Let's see. Okay, but in the game, he basically, in the map theme anyway, let's control up so we can separate those. In the map theme, he sort of did this thing where he had it do like, it was like, dun. So it started out with like, something like that. It was like a 1-2 march, you know? So we can sort of do something like that by taking the top notes and just sort of moving them down. So it creates this alternating movement. So let's control down, and then we take the whole thing and put it back in the same octave. And I kind of want to open with that same line with the map theme as a direct reference. So we could try that. Maybe make it go a little faster. So actually for that, I would need to make it 2 bars. And then for this, let's see, I'm gonna need to work with this from a whole line. Let's see. So let's see, let's make this. And for these 2 bars, it was like it was really rapid. It was like 16th notes. So let's Control C and Control B. And then we're going to Control Q because some of these are out of the grid. So it gets to be a bit annoying. So let's turn it down. And then let's make it alternate the velocities. No, that doesn't sound good. I think in the original it was just one note. It was like da, 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 da. And it was sort of like it was like a resolution where it started on like the 5, like an E. Ah, yeah, there we go. Okay, so it can be just as loud. But I kind of want to lead it up to that, like maybe have a lead up. And or maybe all the way up to E. Or maybe like diatonically all the way up to E. Yeah, I like that. But the way this voice is leading, I kind of want it to go up. So maybe... Yeah. And then, let's see, this would have to go, what, D sharp? No, I think I want it to go down, yeah. Okay, that'll work. So then at the same time we have to do I guess this will be the strings where it's like we'll do the dun 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 dun. But I think that started on B. Okay, these need to be faster, double time. And they need to be a little faster. Kind of want to lead it up to here. Nice. But in this case, I really would prefer to have because the two sort of runs are working against each other now. Let's just have them do like this. Or maybe we can have them do some arpeggio runs where it's like na 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 na. There we go. That okay, pentatonic sounds better. So let's just do that anticipatory one. Nice. Cool. I like it. It's got to be slower at that point. Unless we double time the intro. And then just take away that extra bar. Let's try that. Control Q. Yeah, that's too fast. Weird. I guess they're just in different tempo and I want them to be in both at the same time. Nice. Okay, let's roll with that. And then I kind of want the French horn to have a part in the beginning, not just suddenly come in. So I have two choices here. I can either do one long note, or I can do something relating to the title screen before it starts, like the... something like that. Yeah, that could be fun. But in that, so that is in the key of D. And in that case, we would do... yeah. But that's also a little, it might not work with the militaristic feel, but it'll be fun. Interesting. Oh, because it's in triplets, I don't know if it's gonna work. Yeah, that's probably not gonna work. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, let's I'll shelve that for now, I think. Let's just do a quick drone note thing. On E, yeah. I'm liking it so far. Thank you for the mention. I really enjoyed the first part. You generally capture the country games better than 64 did. Thank you. Glad you enjoy them. Welcome, C. You created the best soundtracks in the world. Thank you. Glad you like them. So, now let's see. So I need, I want to, I'm gonna bring, this part is too high, I feel like. Yeah, I like that. And I feel like these French horns need to be EQ'd in some way because they're a little bit telephony. They sound like a telephone. Let's take out some of that low end rumble with a high pass. I think that did the trick. Yeah, just needed to reduce some of the mids. Okay, and then at some point I kind of want to do this, like add something to these strings, like the that might be on the second melody though. But for now, let's write a bass line. Let's see, I want this to be, once again, the original string harmony. Delete that one. And then let's find first empty, call this bass. And we could actually use this bass patch for that. That would be fun. Let's see. Yeah, like this. And then we do 2 bars of this. Done. We have A minor. Na, 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 na. And then we go to D, I think. Then we go to E. And then that goes up to F. Okay, and then it goes back to G again. Then it goes to A. No, this would be the A. Then we go to F, I do believe. And then it goes G. Nice. I could also do a lead up here. Da, da, da. Nice. I think I want it to be like this. There we go. But I kind of don't want it to go all the way from C and then back to G again, so maybe we could keep it as D. Nice. Might also be too many chord changes. Let's see. Yeah, I've got to remove one of these. It's too much. Actually, I think it's fine for now like that. Nice. Welcome, Francisco Santander. Amazing, the best. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it. Welcome, Xerox. What happened to the nuts and bolts GBA restoration? Well, it's technically not a restoration, it's a recreation. So that's why it's taking so long, because I just recorded a guitarist for the guitar parts. And so I just finished implementing that, and now I need to make the video. So that's going to take some time. But I don't, like, I can't, it's not good to do like hours and hours of the same thing over and over again. At least I don't like doing this hours. So I just work on it a little bit every day. So maybe it'll be done in a few days. It's nearing completion, I'd say. But I wanted something, because it's, with music, it's best to like work on, I find it best to work on different ideas at once, in the sense that you can be fresh instead of just powering through the exact same idea 100% of the time. You tend to get antsy from working on that stuff. Anyway, so this is going pretty well. And how long have we been in here? For like an hour. Cool, this is good. This is about an hour's work right here. Okay, so now I want to do drums. I like the I quite like the timpani, which doubled as a bass drum in DK2. And I think that was a contact patch. It's a mono contact patch anyway. We gotta have to put chorus on that. Let's find first empty and call this drums. So we'll highlight channel 2 in this case. Da 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 da. So it starts out with a da 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 do. But we're in E here, so I kind of want this to hit on E. I think it was like... I'm kind of just going off memory here. And I think it was like da 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 da. Where here is the downbeat, I do believe. Ah, there we go. That's it. So, and then I kind of want to do a roll here. Yeah, there you go. And we can move this over because I want it to start on the first hit. And then maybe we can go... There we go. Much better. And then Control L so that the notes ring out like that. Okay, so then let's Control A and move all this over a little bit. Take the drums pattern. And then set the snap to half a beat. Okay, so... Oh, you know what it was? It was like da 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 da. But I don't really want this drums to do that much of a thing. Probably, let's see. Yeah, let's omit that one of those here and then just do like that. Yeah, let's do that. So let's add a time marker here to signify the downbeat. Okay, then I kind of want to do like this thing where it's like da 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 da. Ah, yeah. I think in the game it was like, oh yeah, it was really low like that. We could do that. Oh, that's a bit too low. I don't like that. There we go. I kind of want to do this sort of thing. It's like da da da. But I can make the timpani hits follow the chord progression because at this point we're in E. I can kind of do, make it play G, C, D. That's like, kind of make it play with that for more impact. Why does YFL Studio puts these things here under the time marker here? I'll never know. Okay, and then maybe another one of these things here. Dun, 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 dun. Then maybe another hit here. And then a G there. Okay, but here at the, I kind of want it to do, I kind of wanted to do tremolo strings instead. And I know there was one Apache in DK64, so I'll probably switch to that. Hope you make a 5-part series. I want to see you try out that huge suite of a final boss music. We'll definitely get to the final boss music, but I don't know about maybe 3 parts. We'll see how well the second part does. If the second part does well, I'll continue. Take your time. Thank you. Okay, so there was a patch in Crystal Caves, I think it was only used in Crystal Caves, that was tremolo strings, and I kind of want tremolo strings for that, for effect on that part, because it would be like, and it gets louder and louder, like for like sort of what's it called, crescendo. So in Donkey Kong 64 stuff, tremolo violas. I think we definitely want more viola range than violin range. So let's take these and cut them, send it to the contact, but change it to channel 4. Or no, channel 3. Alt C, and then let's preview that. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. They're a little bit, they need more bass to them. I guess they're kind of out of their range. This might be better played by cello. Yeah, this might be a little bit out of their range. I might need the cello tremolos. Oh, that's in their range. I guess it's just that they don't have enough bass, low mids, or whatever. So, let's create a separate master output. Let's create one for the timpani as well, since we're here. Then go to outputs. No, absolutely not. Okay, 3 outputs, 3 and 4. And then we'll send the timpani to outputs 5 and 6. Then we'll head over to processing and send this to, what is it, 3? Yeah, 3 and 4. So tremolo strings, or let's see, tremolo, and then timpani. And now for the tremolo strings, let's just immediately give it more bass. Maybe not that much bass. Okay, very good. Now in these tremolo strings, let's build into them a, what's it called, a crescendo. So let's turn this one down and basically make it so that over time it just crescendos. And let's make it the thing overall louder, because we're going to lose volume. But I think that's not even enough. Let's do... I think it's not slow enough is the thing. Nice. Maybe that's too fast. Oh, good. Perfect. Let's see. Nice. Pretty good. Oh, yeah. That's good. Okay, maybe they're even too loud as a whole. Okay, but the French horns could be a little louder. I guess that means they could be louder overall. Okay, but let's include them in the crescendo. Let's enable the slide and then put it here, and it'll create a slide note. And if the note is at the same note, instead of pitch bending, it just creates it just changes the thing. So this will make it get louder. It'll go if you set it to higher velocity. Nice. Okay, and then the basses. Let's do the same with them. There we go. Nice crescendo. Yeah, the final boss music will definitely be included in this by default. That'll finish off the game well. Okay, I think the French horns are overloading their Oh, we also need, because Dave always puts delay on the melody channel, so let's put a delay on that for good effect. Let's offset it so it makes the delay effect sound more stereo. It has a little bit of reverb in a sense. And then let's give it diffusion, which basically means the volume will be diffused. Nice. Okay. So the snare, I definitely want a snare in here, but I kind of want a more orchestral one, because the in Donkey Kong Country 2 they basically just used the general rock snare and made it sound more of an orchestral context. But in Nintendo 64 you kind of had the luxury of at least more snares, so we can use more snares. Let's use the one in Donkey Kong 64, which is the stereotypical sound like Roland orchestral snare. Try that one. We have lots of round robin here. Cool. So let's put that in the drums. Let's do that. Okay, at this point I kind of want the snares to come in. And so we'll go to channel 4. I want the lower snares for this. And And so kind of the rhythm that was used for the map theme was like da 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 da. Let's switch to pattern here and then maybe do like a, we can do a roll for this. Yeah, there we go. Like that roll. And then he did something like no. And so kind of what I want to do is use the round robin for this, so we can do. And then maybe for the, we use the high snares for this part. Oh no, just these maybe. Okay, so that's where the round robin ends. Let's keep on, let's do this. And then walk it down so that it loops kind of cleanly. But I don't think you can have the one snare line being played with the higher ones, because it has to be a different snare. So I would kind of prefer to keep this in the same line. Which means that I would also have to use the and I think these are also higher in a way. Nice. Okay, so let's, no wait. Let's select just these. Okay, and then I kind of want to do a fourth part where it's like. Nice. Okay, and then maybe just repeat this part after that. I kind of want to let it. And then maybe have this here be also a roll. Nice. Nice. Okay, so let's call this bases. Let's put a chorus on the timpani. Okay, and then after that, I kind of want to go into a section where it's like quiet, like the castle theme, but it does the second part of the island theme, which is that. And then you go on to the next theme. Hold on one second. Okay, so for that we can load up the clarinet. I don't know if we used yeah, I think I did use the clarinet before, and I used the one from Donkey Kong 64. And the bass clarinet was also, it was kind of a bass clarinet combo in Donkey Kong 64, so let's use that. That one was K. Lumsey's theme. And we maybe can bundle that with this, like instead of just going into the second melody of DK Island, we can do the K. Lumsey theme for this chill section. I don't remember how it went, like and how would that work with like a chill thing? Because it would be like I don't know what the notes are though. Let me give the orchestra snare a mixer track. Send that to 6. Call this snare. And then the bass clarinet, let's send that to 9 and 10. And let's send those to channel mixer track 7. Well, this bass clarinet. And then I kind of want to, let me go and grab the MIDI for K. Lumsey's theme, because as I sit here and try to transcribe it, it might take forever. Let me see. Actually, I think it might be okay. But it should be more marchy, so we might change the timing a little bit. But we can, let's see, we can do A minor here. So that's basically outlining A minor. And that's basically going from E minor to E major again, just like the BAP theme. So that actually works out pretty well. Let's find first empty, call it winds. Yeah, let's roll with that. Make them really short notes here. Maybe we go from down to D, maybe. No. Maybe G. No. I like the E, actually. And then we go. No, maybe not. Yeah, I like the F, actually. And then we can go into thirds just like the original song. Da 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 da. Let's do, let's set our snap to be in a sixth of a beat, I'd say. No, actually we want it to be a third of a beat. Okay, and then let's set it back to regular. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Let's put this at the end here. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, before we do that, I might want to go into like a brass set, like a trumpet part here, like they do in the map theme, like a trumpet version of this, where it's like. Yeah, I don't know, maybe later, but for now. Okay. And then I kind of want to do some drone strings, like in the castle theme. Because that's kind of what this thing is putting out. We have A minor. Oh, it's actually going. And then. No, it's actually going. Let's see. Da, 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 dee, da. That won't fit if it's if the melody is doing. So it has to be. Yeah, we could do something like that. So. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. Then we can add some of Dave's signature seventh, like signature atmospheric sevenths. Okay, so it goes to from A minor to F, and then down to F major, and then down to F minor. There we go. Let's turn down the velocity on the strings. Or maybe we could go down to F diminished. Yeah, there we go. Now let's duplicate that. Interesting. But I kind of want to give the, kind of want to put the strings up higher and give the, this, like the clarinet some room to breathe. So let's do like this. Let's sort of invert it up. I could actually, I kind of might want to go back to E. Let's see here, so that I can use that. Yeah, so that I can go down like this. And then I might go up an octave with this. But this would have to hang on F. Let's Control G to glue all the notes. But then I kind of want to do something more interesting here. It just has to have F in it. Oh, we can go to D minor. There we go. Yeah, I'd say that's good. Yeah, and then you just have to continue it. Do. Welcome, Cogito Ergo Sum. Welcome, Red Beans and Rice. Yeah, banger. Glad you enjoy it. Welcome, Zero Danmaku. Favorite Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Country track? Probably Mining Melancholy or something like that. Yeah. Lovely. Okay, so I kind of want to combine this with staccato strings in the lower bit. Try that. Let's do like slower ones. Let's do dun, dun, dun. What the? Why? I hate FL Studio. It's like just selecting things for no reason. So stupid. Okay, so no. Then it goes from F. You can have this just lead like this, and then Control B. And then here it goes. Yeah, I like that. Or it might be more fun to have a pizzicato bass and just keep this more chill. So let's take the pizzicato strings from Donkey Kong 64. And then we're gonna, let's see, create a mixer track for this. Send it to plugin out 11 and 12. And then send that to mixer track 8. And call that pizzicato. Or pizzicato basses to be exact. Okay, so let's go to our bass pattern. And then we're going to choose track 6 and write a bass pizzicato bit. So let's do this dum, da dum. Just the first thing that comes to my mind. Oh wait, let's do dum, do dum. We have to lead into F. Da dum. Da dum. And then we can control B that part. Okay, let's do like, you do the A there. There we go. And then it goes, this one hangs on, this one goes to D minor actually. Dum. Let's put this one to C. Yeah, actually I like this better. Nice. I kind of want these to be like violin range though. And also quieter if they're gonna do that. Alt X. No, I think they gotta be a little more ominous than that. Yeah, we can get something good going there. And let's see, let's try to make another variation of this. Da, 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 da. Go to a different chord, maybe. Da, 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 da. Ah, yeah, there we go. maybe to A and lead up to B. Okay, and then he ends in the original song. He ends it by going. Let's try that. It's probably gonna want to end this on A. And let's have another two short notes. Okay, actually, I think this is gonna need to be higher. I'm gonna end this on A. Okay, and then have some long da da da. Yeah, that'll work. And then for the strings, we'll control B and then do. Okay, and then we can go to E minor. And here, sort of seems like I'm thinking of like B diminished, but actually it could be G dominant. So here it could be C. Let's go, but it'd be C major, I guess. No, it's too happy. Okay, and then maybe G sharp diminished. And then resolving to A. But it's not as good if you have it already having just done A. Maybe. Nice. But I still don't like that C major very much. Oh yeah, it could go to B. No, that's not really cohesive. We could go back to E minor, maybe. Nice. I like that. Okay, and then we went to E. And then we went to E major, but that makes the bass stay the same. Then we went G, yes, G, E, G sharp, A. Then I kind of want to go dun dun dun. A chromatic walk up. And here, where did I go again? Oh, it's the same thing. G, E, sharp, A. Let's do G, E, A. Nice. Yeah, there you go. Nice, I like that. What VST slash banks are you using? Well, I'm really only using I'm only using the FL Studio stock sound font player, and then I'm using Contact and the official Poly 6 VST from Korg. And for the banks, I'm all using things that I used from Donkey Kong Country 2 and Donkey Kong 64. Most of these are Roland. These strings are Roland. It's from Donkey Kong Country 2. Timpani is from Donkey Kong Country 2. Also Roland. Tremolo violas from Donkey Kong 64, also Roland. And all when I say Roland, I mean the Roland CD collection. Mostly the Roland CD collection. Orchestral snare from Donkey Kong 64, Roland CD collection. Bass clarinet from Donkey Kong 64, also Roland. And the pizzicato strings, also Roland. These basses are from Donkey Kong Country 2, and they come from the Envision Lightware Stratus. I think it's Stratus, or classical instrument, something like that. This is the bass line from the castle theme. And it's Envision Lightware. And these French horns are Ensoniq CDR. From Donkey Kong Country 2, used in the title screen. Cool. I like that. And then I have I have a whole bar. No, I don't have a whole bar here. It's just because it's lopsided. Oh, yes, because it kind of broke the rhythm here, because it breaks the pacing, which is good for a bridge leading into a sort of another song, technically another song. Let's put a downbeat here so it colors the things right. Now we have a multiple of 4. I kind of want to do a drum thing here. Let's see. Let's just go. Or actually, let's go up. Okay, and then we ended on dun 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 by accenting those with the timpani. Nice. I sort of like the timpani moving, doing like that here because of like K. Lumsey being huge. It's like a boom, 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 boom. And then we can kind of do nice. Nice, I like that. Okay, let's see, what other ideas do I want to go into? This song's like Conquers bad for a day. It's basically just orchestral, and it's specifically sort of very marchy, militaristic orchestra. Welcome, Ralph Silva. Welcome, Quiff. Hola. So let's hear it from the beginning. The snare is a little loud. Let's give it chorus 2. Bring it down to halfway. Let's saturate it. No, saturate it. Nice. Now there's I think we could better lead into this part, like into the next part. Well, first of all, we need a do-do-dum. We can have it. I wanted to kind of climax before the hit, so we hear the hit. And then maybe have the basses have a lead in. Nice. Oh, you know it would be fun if we'd use the glockenspiel from the castle theme too. That would be fun. That my fan. Might have to call it quit soon because that's because I think that's something else. Oh well. Yeah, very much elements of Crook's March. How did I get here? I don't know, but welcome, Jack Geezy. Welcome, Victorious. Nice. So, kind of underwhelming to you. That's kind of underwhelming to you. You're mostly going for why is this technique? You probably use more advanced libraries than that. I could, but I'm also going for the sound of the what is it, like the sound of what things he would have used. And particularly I used in the first one, I used the ukulele. I used a newer ukulele library because anything else wouldn't have given me the same feeling. So I sort of like break that and use newer libraries if I can if I can't get the same sound that I want. But it's a good idea to sort of modernize it a bit. I might take that. Suggestion. Anyway. Okay, so I want to kind of add the glockenspiel. But the glockenspiel in DK2 didn't really sound very convincing. It was mostly just a like synthy sounding. So maybe this would be a good opportunity to use a newer library. Like what? Let's see. I definitely don't. So there's in Donkey Kong 64, there's a Celesta used a lot. But that one's kind of it's kind of underwhelming sounding. So then maybe we could use, let's see, what else do I have? I have the play library. Could use that. That's usually what I go for with this sort of situation. Orchestra, I think it was, oh, there it is, Glockenspiel. You can turn that up a lot. This library tends to be very underwhelming in volume. So, yeah, turn that up. And so let's see. I kind of want to do like a descending line where it's like ding dong 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 dong. No, not that fast. Control Q and let's Alt X. And it okay, that's a little bit too loud. Turn that back down. Even more. Okay, and then let's see. We have to follow the chord progression here. Kind of want to do a da 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 ding da. But let's not do that in the bass. Let's make another one. Alright, let's call this, and let's name this like K Lumsy. Oh, it actually is. It actually is fully E major. And then maybe make it change direction, but it's gonna start with E. Let's see, flip horizontally. And then maybe put these two together. And then maybe do a sweep. Here we're in F, so we would have to do... Nice. Let's do... Okay, then we'll go have a downward part. Let's have it start going down at the bit in the note before though. Nice. And then maybe come in with a harp. Have the harp take over in the harmony there. And for the harp, I usually use piano tech. Because there's a harp in Donkey Kong 64, but it is it's just a single sample from the JV. Not really that exciting. Let's see which recording is fine. I don't really want to do it in the same sonic space as the let's do it an octave up. And I kind of want to layer it with this part, with the glockenspiel, have it basically introduce itself. And then we'll make it the velocity higher. It's kind of enough. So let's do that. Sort of an A minor 7, A minor 7 arpeggio. I'm going to C major. Also throw in the 7th there, but make it the same velocity. I like having that B in there because then it leads well into the E major. Let's do, and then it goes up, the E goes up to G, and then pretty much now it's E major, except for the C, which we can raise up to D if we want. Nice. And so then there's G major. Which basically all we have to do is go to F for the dominant. So we're actually rising, kind of like rising. And then I can do a variation here where I go up and where I go downward. And then I can kind of do this one, go downward for the whole chord. Let's see. This is E minor. And then duplicate that. And then I can do da 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 da, so we can have it go down and then up. On the, what chord is this? All right. G sharp diminished. You can just keep it going with a fully diminished seventh. I'd rather have it go up to E. Or we could do a glissando. That would be more fun. And I should select a fourth of a step for that. I always try to end on a, like if I'm gonna end it, I always end it on not a seventh, like a regular chord. That could be a little bit longer. Yeah, let's have that be half a step and quantize that. Oh, actually, it was more like a yeah, we can keep it the way it was. Oh wait, it was actually already, there was like some space here that I didn't want. Nice. But I think the harp is kind of overshadowing the clarinet, so let's turn the harp down. Let's call it harp. And then let's raise up the clarinet. This glockenspiel has to ring out that last note, otherwise it feels too sudden. Nice. Nice. But I kind of want to move this part to the string harmony this time. Okay. Oh, no, don't put it there. We have to put it in the synthesizer. Poly 6. Okay. But then I need to actually shorten these notes. I like that. Cool. And I kind of want to add the glockenspiel here from the since it was in the map theme, and it would be nice here as well. Let's see. David Wise is a genius. Yes, he is. Welcome, Conejo Silencio. Hey man, you rock. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so let's do that. Let's try to extend those notes out. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my god, I hate when it does that. Okay, so here we just have to conform to, we have to use the same thing but conform to the chord progression. What is it here? Oh yeah, E major. Okay, and then it goes to G, which we're already basically G here, but it's G minor. Wait, but it's but then in the original he goes except that the chord progression here is like, I think it's also going back to D, let's say. No, because it's oh, it's going to C here. Okay, so then we copy and paste that. Nice. Then we have G minor. Is that note even sounding? I think this one needs to be louder. Actually, all of them could be that strong. I like it. At least it comes through clear this time. We don't need to have it be super loud. Okay, so then we have looks like D minor. And then I went to A. And then we do that chromatic walk down where it's like da 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 da. Nice. Okay, now I need the full velocity here. Nice. I like that. Bro, the world wouldn't be ready for this. Nice. Welcome, Jin Skling Mayer. Lingen Mayer. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Probably not. So anyway, I'm pretty satisfied with this. Hold on. This is like a solid minute of audio. Could go by the minute. Now, the next thing I would do is probably Frantic Factory. I don't know if I want to get into that today because we're already at 2.5 hours. I wanted to spend like 3 hours, around 3 hours doing this. So I'll probably just call it a day and then start on Frantic Factory next time. Yeah, that was fun. We did some fun stuff today. I'm gonna go do some stuff today because today is the last clear day before it starts raining for like 3 days straight, or 4 days straight actually. Maybe even 5. So I'm gonna go do some stuff outside. That'll be fun. But this was great. It's great to write some music today and start a new thing. Even though I'm still gonna finish the video for Nuts and Bolts, the recreation. So that's almost done. It's just that I didn't really want to just power through it. I wanted to have like different things to do today, like work a little bit each day on that and then work a little bit each day on this. So proper division of labor and stuff like that. So, but anyway, thanks for the stream and thanks for coming to the stream. And this will be Jam and Sam signing off until probably coming back tomorrow, I would say, because it's going to be raining a lot. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and this will be Jam and Sam signing off until next time.